A is for the Arctic char. The Arctic char lives in rivers and lakes of the Arctic and subarctic regions. It feeds on zooplankton, insects, and other fish, and it reproduces by spawning every 1 to 2 years. B is for the banded butterfly fish. The banded butterfly fish can be yellow or white. Females and males tend to look very similar. They live in tropical waters and they also live in pairs. They are either carnivore or omnivore, so they feed on corals and/or crustacean, and their spawning activity varies. C is for coelacanth. The coelacanth has lobed fins, which is one of its most distinguished characteristics. It also has a fluid-filled backbone. They live in water that is about 100 to 200 meters deep. They are nocturnal fish that eat other fishes, and they are a deep metallic blue, almost resembling a brown color. D is for decorator crab. The decorator crab feeds on sponges, algae, and crustaceans while living in kelp forests. In fact, they are very clever. They use seaweed, anemones, and sponges to cover its shell and camouflage. And when the time comes to find a new shell, they use their decorations from the old shell and place them onto the new shell. E is for elephant seals. The elephant seals eat fish underwater, and when they are on land, they are fasting. They shed their fur when they are 1 month old and when they are 12 to 14 months old. From there on, they only shed every year. Mating season ends when the male no longer produces enough sperm to fertilize the eggs. F is for fanworms. Fanworms live inside tubes found in the ocean, and the tentacles stick out. The tentacles execute feeding and respiratory tasks. They live in deep and shallow waters. They feed on particles and food from water by filtering it. They consist of a circulatory system and can reproduce sexually by spawning and asexually. G is for gar. Gar are freshwater fish that are also known as gar pikes. They prey on smaller fish by drifting in the water close to the surface. They have survived for so long because they have the ability to live in low oxygenated water. Their eggs are toxic to humans and they are rarely consumed. H is for hawksbill turtle. They are commonly found in shallow waters near coral reefs and rocky areas. It feeds on coral to survive, and the nesting times vary based on locations. The hatchlings, however, are often found floating around sea plants, and they usually become sexually matured when they are around 20 years of age. I is for intertidal zone. In this zone, the land meets the water. During the day, it is covered by water with the high tide, but it is also hit by direct sunlight during the low tide. J is for the jeweled blenny. They are herbivores and feed on microalgae. They can grow up to 5 inches and they tend to keep from being aggressive. They are also bought and commonly kept as pets. K is for krill. Krill eat phytoplankton and they live near the surface where the sunlight hits them. They are the main food source for many animals and they tend to look like shrimp. L is for leafy sea dragons. Leafy sea dragons use 2 fins to move itself. The males are responsible for taking care of the offspring and incubating the eggs until the eggs are released. People often take them in as pets. M is for manatees. Manatees are herbivores and they eat seaweed and algae. They must surface in order to breathe, but they never leave the water. Their calves are born underwater and taken to the surface to breathe. Soon they begin to swim. N is for needlefish. Needlefish live in tropical water and are carnivorous. These fish are edible and there are about 60 species in total. O is for olive sea snake. The olive sea snake has the ability to stay underwater for hours. It is venomous and feeds on fish and other benthic invertebrates. It likes the reef as its hiding place. P is for the pelagic zone. The pelagic zone is all of the ocean water column. Q is for the queen parrotfish. They live in tropical waters and they also feed off of algae. R is for ratfish. Ratfish live near the bottom where the mud is found. They are scaleless, carnivorous, and also cannibals. They also form their own groups and breeding is seasonal. S is for seahorses. Seahorses live in tropical waters and feed on plankton and small crustaceans. These male nurture and care for the young. Tilefish. Tilefish spawn from March to November. They feed on crustaceans and other bottom-dwelling organisms. Also, bigger fish and bottom-dwelling sharks that are bigger prey on the tilefish. U is for umbrella squid. Umbrella squids eat crustaceans and after spawning most die. Embryos go into platonic stage and then they grow into adults. V is for vaquitas. As of 2016, there was only 30 vaquitas alive. They are found in the Gulf of California, which is in Mexico, and they are about the same size as a small human. They are also carnivores. W is for wreckfish. Wreckfish feed on fish and squids and prefer rocky bottoms or reef. Wreckfish are found along the east coast of the U.S. and are known to be large predators. X is for Zysura. They live in the ocean floor and when it's breeding time, they come up to the shallow waters. They feed off invertebrates and they have 4 eyes. Y is for Yeti crab. The Yeti crab lives in waters that are about 7,200 feet deep and hide underneath rocks. They are found near deep-sea hydrothermal vents, and it is speculated that they might foster bacteria in their fur so that they can eat it. And lastly, Z is for zooplankton. Zooplankton is found near the surface and they tend to drift. The 2 types are holoplankton, which stay plankton their entire life, and meroplankton, which change as they grow.